my first one, it's not really that special. There's gonna be the crank, which I drew very poorly, but it's gonna turn this gear, which turns this gear, which turns this gear, and it goes around, and half of the gear is exposed from the outside of like the box kind of thing. If I can find one. Like they're all in this kind of box thing, like this type of box. And so it's gonna be like this. I drew trying to show it. It's like the gear coming out of where it's like 2 layers. And so it's gonna get progressively smaller until it gets like this point where it turns a planetary gear system, which has holes in it. There's actually one here, if I can find it. This one, that's a planetary, yeah, it's like this. So it has like a hole, and so the gumball, when it comes there, it gets traveled, and then it falls out the bottom. But the main thing is I have to calculate, the right amount of basically calculate the gear ratios to make sure that it's not insane, so that when I turn this one, it doesn't do this 16 times in a second. Because this one, if that turns 16 times in a second, this is going to turn 16 times in a second. And if I want one gumball to come out, it's not going to work. So that was kind of, as it gets smaller, I probably should just do it smaller to bigger, because that would make it smaller. Or, not smaller. A bigger gear to a smaller gear to a bigger gear makes it so that the bigger gear spins slower, right? But if I have all this big gear to smaller gear, this one, I would have to change some things up so it doesn't spin forever in a second. So my second style is actually what I'm trying to do right now, what I've been working on, which is a little bit more sound. And it's where they're gonna have, these aren't even gears, but this is like a circle, and it has a tube in it. And they all have, these 2 are the same size, and this one's a little bit smaller, just to make it look cooler. And it's gonna be shapes. It's gonna be shaped like that. I don't know. It needs to look cool too. There's points on that. So this is where the gumballs are gonna be held. And when this comes, can I actually find one that has this? This type of mechanism, where there's a pulley attached to a gear. So when the gear's over here, the gumball, the gumball, there's a hole in this. So when the pulley gets pulled, the gumball comes out, and then it's flat, so no more gumballs come out. Because you want one gumball to come out at a time. That's a requirement. So it's gonna pull, and one gumball's gonna come in, and when it comes here, you need to time it correctly. I need to make it so that the gears time correctly, so they're all spinning at a different speed, because it's gonna look cool. And then when this comes to the center, they're all gonna be centered as well. So it's gonna be it's like a clock, basically, because they're moving at different speeds. So it's like a gear for the hour, the second, and the minute, right? Because that's how a clock works, like a watch, basically. And so they're moving at different speeds, but they all need to line up at one time when this is at the center, so the gumball can just fall through, which is going to be hard to make. But I kind of did that. I did this type of mechanism, and I've been working on it this morning. Ow, my nail, fuck. This is, oh my gosh. It's here. This. I've made this monstrosity that looks like nothing right now. I had to make it in pieces because it's insane. It's one piece right there. But yeah, so they're all gears. I'm gonna make them into gears using this. I did a test and it worked. This was just a circle too, but it turned into a gear. So I know how to do that. But on the thing, it's gonna be a little hard to change. But this is it's supposed to be like this. This is for the bottom. This is for this. This is the back side with all the gears. It's gonna be like a watch. Actually, I have a picture. I was how do I make it look cool? And it's gonna look like something like this. So it's you look on the, if you look at the front of a watch or something, you're oh, it has the time, it looks cool, and then you open it up and it has this intense gear system, and it looks crazy. And so if I do something like that looks crazy on the back with all the gears and stuff, it's gonna be whoa, and it's gonna look cool, and I'm gonna get points for that because it needs to look cool. So it's gonna be like this, and since this is the front, and all three of these need to, like, all move and like they're like lined up. This is a good image because they're all lined up too. So it's like the first one, this is like the second one, and then this is like the third one, where they all showed up here, like lined up. So.
Oh wait, so that one was this one, not this one.
This is the back of that one.
Oh. But this one has like 6 wheels. This one has 3.
Yeah, it just needs to look cool. I mean, this is like the black. This is the back of a what is it called? A pocket watch.
Okay.
And it looks really cool because pocket watches are like known for being hard to put together because it has so many gears and stuff. And so it needs to look cool, too. That's like a requirement. It can't look like ugly. So I was like, what is the coolest thing with gears? And I thought of, how when people open up a watch, it looks insane. And so this is like the back of a watch. And so it's going to look like this on the front with those like 3 things and this one pulling it. And I was like, okay, but how do I make it look cool if that's in the front already? And so I was like, if you put it on the back, like you open up a watch, then on the back it's going to look crazy with all these gears to turn this stuff. And this is a good image because this is the first one, this is the second one, and this is the third one. And they're all lined up. And how like this one is going to be 1, 2, 3 all lined up. But I just need to change some things so that they all spin at like different speeds. But if I spin them at different speeds, it would just have to be like the number of teeth on the gears would just have to be multiples of like the number. So if this has 24 and this one wants to spin twice as fast, but when it turns the second time, it's going to line up with the first one. It just needs to be, 24, then this one needs to be 48. And then if this one wants to spin twice as slower to match up with both of them, then it would have, if this is faster, then double the teeth, and then it will be twice as slower. So you just need to do math and then line it up. And then the rest of the gears here, I actually have the whole thing right here. What am I saying? It's like I already did all the work. I just need to change it so that the number of teeth actually match up. If I could get that. Why is it turning? This is very hard to see. Actually, can I select everything here? No. I can change what the material is. I can, okay. What if I change it to like gold?
What happened to that printer in the back? I mean, the shredder.
The shredder? Oh, I never turned it on.
Oh.
It just has that there. Oh yeah, here we go. It looks better now. But, so this is the, if I can get the ankle back, this is how it's gonna look. Actually, you can't really see it now, that's great. But, so this is like the third one at the bottom, this is the middle one, and then this is the top one. This is how it's gonna look from the back. And so this one's gonna turn this one. Then, actually, let me just get the side view. Then this one is gonna turn this one, which also turns this one, which then turns this one, which then turns this one, and on the back it turns that at the same time, which hits this, which turns this, and then the bottom one will, no, I can't get it. Then the bottom one will spin, hitting this one, and then the middle one will spin. So I did like a whole bunch of calculations, and I just make it so that they're all gears like this one. And I still need to add, that's like the main system. I just need to add the last part. Like the pulley thing with like the thing that gets pulled to take a gumball.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of work for a gumball.
Yeah. Well, you just need to make it look cool. I mean, these weren't easy either. These were pretty complicated.
Yeah, but pretty good too, you know?
Yeah, mine is just...
At least you don't have to make it like in person. You only just planning to put it together.
No, you make it. Like this.
This is for your school? Or
Yeah.
this is for the NASA program thing?
This is for my engineering class, Mom.
Oh. So when are you going to have the presentation?
We just make the gumball machine.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can make it out of wood and stuff. This is his past student stuff.